So I make my own kombucha and I was pouring it off. You make the tea and then you pour it into jars and add some juice and then cap it and let it rest for another 3 days on the counter. And I was pouring the tea off today and I use a funnel that has it's about a finger size, very, a smaller funnel to get it into these jugs. And I'm sure we've all done this before, where you fill the funnel so fast that it backs up because there's no airflow. It's a silicone one, so it fits right snug into the bottle unless I hold it away. And so I was pouring and it almost overflowed the funnel. And I started thinking about how easy it is, if I pour it slow enough where there's enough, just a little tiny gap of air getting through, I can pour really fast. And I thought about how that fits our own life. I know that we've all had times in our lives where we've really been in that divine flow, where everything seems to work, the timing, all the things come together just when you're in that flow. And how amazing the manifestation, the speed at which things can happen. And yet, so much of our time we spend sort of forcing things to happen, overflowing, like, let's make it happen faster than this. And it backs up and we end up with much less accomplished with trying to force things to happen than when we actually get in tune with that divine flow and move out into that stream. The same thing, a kind of idea of, you're in the middle of the river and the river's moving well, but if you get stuck on the edges, and that's what happens when we start to try to make things happen. Our job is to get in touch with what that divine voice is saying inside of us. What is our dream? What is that passion that's coming from us? And as we follow that trail, it automatically starts to happen for us. We meet people, we have support we didn't know. The plans and projects happen so much faster than we expected them to. So, we do have to do the footwork. But it's when we get caught up in what other people think the footwork should be, when we start spending more time asking advice from other people than to really listen to our own inner voice. And we can use statistics and we can use guidance from people who've been here before about how it worked for them. But the most important tool for manifestation is inside you, is listening to that voice of what it is that needs to be happening. What's the next step? And if we're brave enough to listen, that voice will come, that solution to our problem, the seemingly impossible obstacle that we're facing, will be instantly clear. And it's amazing to me when that happens, because I think of course is what I always think when, oh, that's a fantastic, of course that's an easy way to do it, even though it seemed completely impossible. So I invite you this week to really get in touch with that voice, what it is that's calling in you to be manifest. The next steps, if we listen, there might be some fear about actually listening, but if you listen, you will know exactly the next steps. And when we do that, we are in that divine flow and things are easy. Don't try to force your will upon the world and not expect some blockage and some kickback. There's not the oxygen coming through. There's a give and take in the bottle when I'm pouring through and that hole is blocked. What's in there can't get out. As we begin to be in touch with that flow, the things start to come to us and manifest. And it's a process. It's ups and downs of, I've been pouring kombucha for years and I still block it up sometimes, right? So we will still try to force our will. It's a balance of learning what, where am I forcing it and where am I doing my just to it? I don't want to give up on my dream. I don't want to just like lay back and say, okay, God, make my dream happen. No, we need to be making that dream happen. So it's a learning process to where are we actually in that center of the river, the flow of God. So I invite you this week, getting in touch with your dream, getting in touch with what's calling from within you, and to listen to what the next steps are and to step into that flow and to not be afraid, to have a sense of faith that you are in that divine flow, that you will be taken care of on this path because it is divinely seated. That dream is not yours. It's coming from the divine within you, and it will be supported as you take the steps. Blessings.